Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the beach. We're out here doing some surf fishing today, and the goal for today's video is just to mainly use sand crabs and making our own bait. So that'll be the project for today. I'm gonna make up some bait real quick, and we'll go over the gear and we'll get into fishing. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Got some good sized ones. Those will do. Tons and tons of bait. That's good. So the limit on sand crabs is 50 a day in terms of bait and harvest. So you can tell where the bait is by these little ripples right here in the water. Those are all sand crabs. It's real easy to harvest them too. You can do it with your hand, but I found that this just helps sift out the sand. Alrighty. Well, I kind of like this spot right here. We have some not super far off breakers, but right here in this area, it's deeper water, kind of close to shore. So that's where I'm gonna mainly focus. So in terms of gear, what I'm using today is I have my Phenix Trifecta Lite. I have my Shimano Miravel 2500 series reel, running a Carolina rig with 20-pound braid, 14-pound fluorocarbon. I have a 1 ounce weight, bead and swivel, and the leader's about, I want to say 3.5 feet long. And I'm using a size 2 mosquito hook instead of a bait holder today because we're going to be using sand crabs instead. If the sand crabs aren't working out, I'll switch over to the sandworms, but we're going to give it a shot and see how we do. You don't need to cast very far with these guys, especially if the surf is just so close. So see, we're already getting taps, probably a little perch. There we go. First cast. There we go. First fish of the day is a barred surf perch. This one's a male. Good hook set, right in the corner of the mouth. Nice looking fish. You can tell it's a male because it has a little gap in between this anal fin right there. The little makes it a male. All right, good stuff. I'm hoping to find some corbina or croaker. So if you can, try to use the sand crabs that have a good amount of roe. Not too far, maybe about 20 yards is all I'm casting. And I normally actively fish the sandworms back, and I'm like constantly retrieving. But for the sand crabs, you can just kind of let it sit out there. Yep, look, stole the eggs, and that's the bait gone. So for the little taps, you don't want to set the hook because they obviously don't have the hook in their mouth. You're just waiting for a good take, basically. You know that, like, all right, they're pulling that bait. Making a move. No luck here. Oops, almost forgot. I'm gonna let these sand crabs go and harvest some more at the other beach. Let's try this area out. I was just getting nibbles for a second. First bite I've had at this new location. Felt just like a perch though. Had a bite. Not too far from shore too. Maybe that's where I'm messing up. That, and I'm probably setting the hook way too early as well. Alrighty, here we go. Kind of a deep ledge. I'm thinking just 20 feet offshore. Right there, there'll be some fish. You'd think this whole trough right here would be stacked with fish, because these are all sand crabs right here, and they're just washing right down into that trough. There's a fish on this side. Alright, there's a fish there. It's just not grabbing the hook. Alright, I put 4 smaller ones on. There we go. Nice perch. Sweet. 9 inches, 9.5. Another male. Sweet. Good fish. Another grouping of guys. Any tug from a fish I'm just gonna set, just because they're not picking at the legs. I don't think they're just gonna try to eat them all. But the technique is the same. I'm not really actively bringing them in. I'm just using letting the wave do its thing. And after about 20 seconds, if I don't feel anything, I'll bring in maybe 2 or 3 feet. That was a bite, just a nibble. Seaweed. There we go. Got another. I might have some seaweed with them. Yeah. Fish with a side of salad. Oh, this guy got a little sea lion bite. Another male. Ooh, barely hooked. Nice. Thank you, sir. That's 3. I'm just kind of I'm alternating between a grouping of small ones and then larger ones, just to kind of see what the odds are of hooking up. So far, 2 on the large, 1 on the small. Got some seaweed. There we go. That's a good one. No! That was a big fish and I lost it. Man, I thought I had a good set on it too. Ah, I'm so disappointed. It's okay, we'll keep going. Dang it, man, I wanted to see what that fish was. Alrighty, I unfortunately lost 2 pretty good fish. But I think I just saw a croaker feeding pretty shallow. So I'm just gonna work the edge for a bit of the surf. I set the hook on a larger fish and I had pulled in a lot of seaweed and it just snapped my 16-pound or 14-pound fluorocarbon. And the only backup I have with me without going back to my car is 10-pound. So now I gotta be super careful. And that was my only mosquito hook I brought. And I only have baitholder hooks left. So there goes that option, using that style of hook. This might be the end of the day, depending on if we continue to get bites or not with the new tackle. All that wear and tear from pulling in the seaweed weakened my line. It's so frustrating because I don't have the right tackle anymore. But, oh, we still got something. Nice perch. Nice perch. Biggest one of the day. Nice. Large female, about 10.5 inches. Going. All right. Never mind. Still works. Oh, awesome. Good fish. I was fishing a ton of, there was like a trough that's now filled in with water over the last hour, and the water's come about 2 feet. And I'm trying to target croaker. I could have sworn I saw a croaker, but there's obviously some large perch in the area too. Also, I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I am recording in 4K today. I don't know if that's gonna have a big impact in the video. I guess I'll just have to see when I'm editing. But I'm hoping you guys can tell the difference. I felt we had a bite, and we did. Man, that one large fish that I lost. I felt like that could have been a really big perch. You know, I got a comment on one of my last surf fishing videos, the one just before this one actually. And in the comment, or in the video, I had mentioned that I believe that sandworms was the better bait in my experience. And I got a comment that basically said, I think that sand crabs outfish sandworms. And I just really hadn't used the sand crabs a whole ton. So I'm like, that comment inspired me to like, you know what, I'm gonna dedicate a day. I'm not even gonna use the sandworms. I'm just gonna do straight sand crabs and see how it goes. And I am pretty happy with this day. I mean, I've caught 4 fish and I've hooked into some big fish but lost them. And I think that is to blame on my tackle. I just didn't have the right size hooks. So that could be blamed on user error. In terms of the amount of bites that I've got, once I found where the fish were, they've basically been going non-stop. So color me impressed. Next thing I need to really dial in is just the Lucky Craft jerk baits. Alrighty, I threw on a little group of 4. Nope, alright, I had one for a second. There we go, yeah, I still do. He's just a smaller guy. Smaller guy. With some parasites on his fins. Wrong way, buddy. He swam up and not down. How's it going? Pretty good. Yeah, caught a few. One like 10, 12.
There you go. That's what I'm targeting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was maybe like 10 feet off the shore.
Yeah, light shallow.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I'm looking for corvina, but I talked to a dude on the way back. He said he didn't see any.
I haven't seen any either.
I seen clip maybe 2 weeks ago. I saw like 20, 30 of them.
Really?
They were going crazy.
Jeez.
But, right there. You on?
Just a little small guy. Thank you. Well, the small ones are definitely cool for getting the small perch. I think I have seaweed and a perch. Yeah. There we go. Nope, came off. There we go. Nice perch. This one's bigger than the last one. Whew. Don't get my camera wet, buddy. That is 9, 10, 11, 11 and a half. Big female. Sweet. Good fish. Way to end it with a big one. Good stuff. Good fish to end it. That was a really good fish. I think for sure 11, maybe 11 and a half, almost 12. That was a good fish. All right, guys, that will be it for me today. Appreciate everyone coming and watching. Good session of fishing today. I was able to successfully get into some larger fish. I'm still kind of upset I missed those other ones, the large fish, and then I got broken off. Couldn't believe it, but it was a good session today. Had a lot of fun. I used the sand crabs, which I normally stay away from, and I'm normally using the worms, but to be honest, I might stick with sand crabs more because I felt like the fish were not gut swallowing them. And if I'm trying to let fish go, especially if they're like a female, or if I'm just not keeping a fish, that's definitely a better option that I just need to make sure I remember, like, hey, use sand crabs instead of sandworms. But still, what an awesome day. And as always, guys, link in the description for the music, and then all the gear is listed down there below as well. If you missed out in the beginning, I went over it, but check out the description. Let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated. And if you want to see what I'm doing in the future and you don't want to miss out on future uploads, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. And that'll just about do it. God bless, tight lines, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.